For a lot of our customers, the space that they want to put a tent is not always ideal for tents. But what we can do is we do have a flooring system that we can install for any type of tent that we have. It will allow us to level off the ground completely, give you a surface that you can that you can depend on, so no inclement weather has anything to do with messing up your event. And that way too, you can create carpeted environment, a wood environment for the floor, and really create a true venue outside. And you're creating the venue any way you want it to look, from the walls to the floor, you name it. So that way, and that's one of the things that does separate us from a lot of companies, is we have we probably have over 40,000 square feet of flooring that we can put down first, then put the tent on top of it, and literally you're creating your own venue. Part of the tenting process is for us to go out and see the site so that we know what we're up against, but it also gives us an opportunity to make sure that from a safety standpoint, the customer's taken care of, our crew's taken care of, and that way we make sure that everybody stays safe during the event. In that, we will go out, usually have to meet with a fire inspector somewhere along the process to make sure that we've set the site up properly for egress, for fire extinguisher safety, and just for being able to make sure that everybody stays safe during the event. Make sure we have enough exits, to make sure we have the right kind of exits, and to make sure you have access to that fire equipment. So we take care of all that for you. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff. That's part of the process that we go through. We will also have CAD services here in-house that we can lay out the particular event so that you know exactly where tables and chairs are going to go. The fire marshal is going to want to see this anyway to make sure that we're not putting too much equipment inside the tent to give flow of traffic through. So we always want to make sure that we have a diagram that our guys on site can look at and make sure that the tent's being set up properly, enough space is left for flow of traffic, and to make sure that guests are kept safe. So we know that renting a tent can be intimidating to an end consumer. So we try and take a lot of that intimidation factor out of it for our guests and our customers by making sure we're taking care of any type of ground control that needs to be done from 811, knowing what's out there. We do a site check for every event that we do to make sure that there's no other hindrances to our being able to put up the tent. We have to look for power lines, we have to look for trees, we have to look for anything that could be a danger to the guests or to our crew that's installing the tent. There is a lot that goes into a tent installation. It's not just we put it up on Friday and you're using it Friday afternoon, although that does happen sometimes. We'd much rather have several days in advance so that we can make sure that the site is clear, make sure that our crews have enough time to install properly. And these tents do take some time, especially depending on the style. It takes time to install those. We want to be up and ready so that the decor teams can come in after us, and they've got plenty of time. So the process is more than just a single day. It's usually a multi-day install, and that way everybody has time to do their part to make sure that the event's successful. Inside the building, before the tent ever gets to you, there's a maintenance program that every tent goes through when it comes back. Every tent is washed, maintained. If there's any holes that happen to come up or any kind of problems with the tent vinyl, it's dealt with immediately when it comes back before it goes back on the shelf. So when it comes out to you, it should be ready to go. If during the installation process something happens, we have more time to correct those problems on site. Obviously, we do have to go with the weather conditions, because when weather comes up, we are installing a tent in the outdoors. So when you're dealing with metal poles and wet conditions, so we want to make sure we have time to get around those types of things too. So the overall process can take some time, but that's what we're here for, to make sure that we walk you through the process, give you all the information that you need so that you can have a successful event.